Well, good morning to everyone. Hello, and how are you all doing? so, welcome. I am Ti Lakia. For those of you who are new, Jessica will be back with us again next week. So Jessica's off for today, but she will be back next week. That is my sister, and so as you guys always know, we are definitely still looking to figure out which NFTs to currently buy. If we're going to be buying anything, and sometimes, especially with the way the market's been, we've been very selective on what we're buying right now, simply because, like I said, it's like sometimes if we find some things that are on sale, trust me, we will buy them. We don't have a problem with buying NFT stuff, but for the most part, with the market being down somewhat, we've just been selective as far as if there's any new drops that are coming out. It really needs to ooh and ahs as far as saying, okay, what do they really have built in place that's coming up that's going to make a big difference within the NFT space, because I think the when you start looking at it, the times of just being able to just have a picture of something are over. Those NFT projects that probably will not recover back. We've been saying that for some time now. Whatever you're looking to invest into, make sure that they have some type of utility. Make sure that they're doing something in the and are continuing to build for the particular space to help the NFT space. It's not just a matter of like, okay, I'm gonna just create a picture of something, make 10,000 of them, make a whole bunch of money, and then I'm gone. Nah, those days are like over. Even as far as when everybody keeps saying, well, we're creating a metaverse. Okay, all right, that's not even impressive anymore. It used to be one of those scenarios where you'd go on and be like, oh, actually, this particular NFT is talking about having a metaverse land or something attached to it, and then you find out, okay, they bought some land in another game. So again, nothing wrong with those things. I think the ones that are doing it and still doing it right, whether I don't care, like I said, whether if they are going in and buying, maybe they're buying in Decentraland and creating something, or they're buying in Sandbox and creating something, that's fine. If they're going to do things like that, but make sure that the NFTs that you're investing in, make sure they're continuing to build, and they're continuing to hit their deadlines of what's out there. As far as if this is what they say on their schedule, they need to be hitting those dates. And so you're going to find that a lot of the NFTs that have been out here for some time, some of those may not ever come back. And so again, just be very, do your homework. I think many times people who are in this particular space literally just try to jump in and you're buying everything because such and such said to buy this and such said to buy that, and you're not learning how to do your own research. That is one of the things that like I said, I know Jessica's not here, but that's one of the things we really pride ourselves on, is that we've really taken the time to fine tune how to research some of the projects. Now, not to say that you can guarantee to get everything 100% right, not saying that at all, but at least we know how to research, of going in and saying, hey, who are they connected with? I think that's one of the bigger things when a lot of people look at the space, they're just buying something with somebody that had a connection with a nobody. But if you can ever find some of the companies that are literally out there that have made like fantastic connections, and they're continuing to make fantastic connections, whether it's doing a partnership with someone, those are things that are important when you're in this particular space. And so we're going to try to keep sharing, some of the tips and things that we're looking at. I mean, not necessarily just talk about what's happening in the current market with the news and different things like that, which will definitely still try to keep you guys up to date with some of the news. But we're actually also still going to start talking to you all as far as some of the things that we looked at doing when we were starting. We'll be sharing some of those things on some of the upcoming things when we're coming on live, just to kind of give you a head start. I think for and Jessica, like I said, she's not here, but we always will say, well, man, if we had someone like us, and like I said, not to say that we're bragging on ourselves or anything like that, but if we had someone in front of us to say, hey, do this, this, and that. You could things. I mean, we're doing very good, so don't worry. We're doing very. We're not complaining in regards to that. But how much better things could have been, or in regards to, hey, to buy 2 or 3 items at a time. Those are things that as we're going through the space, and some of the things that we've learned from. We're definitely still going to continue to try to share with those things with you all, so that you can if you can get a head start. Our whole goal of what we're doing is literally to try to give people a head start within the particular space, and to try to help you avoid making major mistakes. Not to say you're not going to make mistakes, but to try to help you avoid some of those mistakes early on. Well, especially if you're an NFT, because we need more people in the NFT space, and especially. I'm not biased to the men. I really appreciate the men that are in the space, and I really appreciate the men that are in the space that are really trying to get women also into the space. But we really do need women in the space. I think this NFTs will do a drastic thing and do some bigger things. The more women we get involved with this particular space, and I don't care. I'm not just saying women to come in and just be buying NFTs. I'm not saying no, we can buy the NFTs, but we need to start creating the NFTs and selling the NFTs. And if you're gifted with art, you need to figure out how to put your stuff, create NFTs, and put them up for sale. And one of the things I'm going to show you guys today, is literally talking about, one of the projects of, if you're looking business wise, things of something you can buy for like I think right now, I think the price when I looked at it earlier was like $400 something dollars. Of how do you get your own thing going to where you can start selling some of your own items. And so I'll share one of the things, as far as one of the projects I think that is still fairly low in price when you're in this particular space, and especially if you're trying to do a bigger move. Again, my thing is I'm just not trying to be in this particular space just to be a buyer. I'm trying to be in this space in order to, and I'm gonna say so we, because I know Jessica feels the same way. We are in this space to become business owners. Literally, like, how are we going to make and capitalize on some of the money that's being made? It's great supporting some of the projects, but we want to start doing some projects to ourselves, to where people are supporting our projects and doing some things like that. So, do you have a bigger vision than being someone who's just strictly buying some of those things? Okay. All right. So let me go on. Just wanted to share that with you. Let me just start sharing my screen. Turn this. Got the right one on. Okay. Boom. That's the screen. Okay, so just a quick view as far as what the market's kind of looking like. I know we've definitely even talked to you all as far as the last couple of weeks of trying to just make sure you're keeping an eye on what the current market looks like in crypto. You know, you really want to see a lot of green. I mean, if again, that's everybody wants to see green. So I'm not saying that you can't buy anything when the market's in the red, because there are still coins that are still moving when we have a dip down. Okay, but at the same time, it also is a way of you having a guide in regard to saying, hey, you know what, the market's in the red. Maybe, and like I said, unless you're finding, if you've already done some research and you have some projects written down that you say, hey, when the market comes down, and even if it's in some coins, you're like, well, hey, if the market comes down, then I'm going to buy a little bit of that coin. Okay, that could be your strategy. Not necessarily just only buying NFTs, but maybe you start getting a strategy for some of these NFT projects that have coins also available with them. So, take advantage of the time when the market's red. And I'll tell you one of the other things, as far as when the market's red, you could be spending a lot of time getting savvier within the NFT space in regards to, maybe reading more articles, literally going out, finding some NFT articles. Maybe again, like if you're an artist or something, going in and doing a deeper dive as far as, finding some other articles, or finding some people who are on Twitter who are talking about some of the things that are Twitter space, going on a Twitter space, and just listening to how other artists are trying to get their information out there, how they're trying to do their advertising, how they're trying to, to try to be able to get their projects launched. Because sometimes you can literally be on one Twitter live, not Twitter live, well, Twitter space. I said Twitter live, on Twitter space, and you can be on there, or in a Discord, like I said, or you could be in a Discord, and you can get one tip that can make you a substantial amount of money. So don't overlook the times when the market is in the red. Do something that's productive to help you to be able to make more capital. So that for me, literally, when Jessica, when we're right now, the market's in the red, so we're either doing more research, just staying up on technology, finding out where technology is still continuing to move forward to. We'll do stuff like that. We'll also go in as far as for we own quite a few of the Clone X's from Artifacts, so we're still building out things for our Clone X's because as we've said many times before, everything in your wallet in the NFT space needs to have a job. You need to be figuring out where they're going to go to work and make you money every single day. So those are things that that, and I'm trying to just give you ideas of what we're doing when sometimes the market's red. Those are things that we're doing. We're literally trying to figure out, okay, what can I do with my Clone X to get that Clone X a job? What can I create with my Clone X? What can I create with my Board Ape to try to capitalize and make some additional money? Because it's great. Don't get me wrong. It's great to see when you're on reading articles and you're like, well, oh wow, this is great. Such and such is doing this with their Board Ape, or such and such is doing this with their Clone X, and then you were like, man, what, I could have made some of that money. And so again, happy for a lot of people, but at the same time, it's also time for us to start making money with the things that we've already accumulated within that you have in your wallet, so that you can, like I said, it can be a big game changer with some of the things that you have in your wallet if you use those things the right way and you start taking the time when the market's kind of in the red and saying, hey, you know what, this is what I'm gonna be working on. I'm building out more things as far as getting prepared to launch whatever you're going to launch with that particular NFT that's in your wallet. Okay. So again, don't get hung up as far as when the market's in the red. There's still always something. Like if you're a trader, there's always something for you to trade, even in the red. Because I mean, I'm not to go into technicals, but you can short the market too if you know what you're doing. Again, if you're new, that is not, just act like you didn't hear what I said. Just figure out how you're going to be doing some researching so that you can figure out which projects to go ahead and get into. So again, everything looked like it had a straight down. I mean, like it's coming down. Hey, it's part of the crypto space. When you're in the space, as we always tell people, we're not your financial advisors. Do your own research as far as when you're investing into some coins. If the market's going to be in the red, maybe you sit sideline. Go. For me, I'm a fishaholic. I love fishing. I even love golf now. I love to golf. So I've been golfing. I've been taking golf lessons for about about 2 months, a little over 2 months. I started playing golf. And so those are things that I'll go do. Literally be like, okay, you know what? The market's red. Because here's the thing. You don't want to create a job. I think I always tell people the same thing. When you're starting something, it's like, okay, you're saying I want to, whether you have a job currently now, you're like, hey, I'm trying to get away from a job or trying to get some income. But then you come over here and trade, or you start doing NFTs, and now you created a job because now you're doing this all day long and you're not taking any breaks, or you're not enjoying anything that you're doing as far as some of the money you might have made from here. You're not enjoying any of those things. So don't come over here and create another job. I was like, for me, everything I do in the NFT space, I love it. Whether it's a trading aspect, whether it's buying the NFTs, I love that aspect of it. But there is also a balance of, like, I'm not sitting here looking at charts all day. I'm just not going to do it. It's like I can go fishing, or I can go golfing. Pick one, well, but I can do one of them. So in the morning, you can have a quick schedule. Like, hey, I'm going to start trading early in the morning, and then I'll find a couple of NFTs, or if you're a trader, and then after that, it's like, okay, I'm going to go do whatever else I want to do for the day, and that's the way life should really be. Like, you shouldn't be on your charts and looking for NFTs all day, every single day. Now, if you have a strategy of what you're doing and you have a game plan, because maybe, let's say, hypothetically, you're looking to see something that you're going to do with one of the items you have in your wallet. If that takes you all day, that's understandable, as far as going on and doing research on those things to try to get those things to be able to make capital for you. But again, that's an investment because you're looking for a return on that. Something down the line is going to be coming for that, which is going to give you more time. Okay, so again, just that's the market aspect of it. Okay, let's go over and talk about a couple of the articles, and then I'll share with you in a minute here as far as one of the things I think is still under. The textbooks. I thought this was pretty smart. So, and I know it's being done overseas, as far as how. When I was in college, I was literally all the time. I'm like, y'all got any used books? I'm like, I don't buy no $200, $300 book for college that I'm going to be here for what, a couple months for. And then, so it's all, you're always going in and either trying to find the used book aspect of it. But the way they're going to be doing some of this technology and how they're leveraging the NFTs with the digital textbooks, I was like, that's not a bad idea. Because most of the time, and unless you're just like a hardcore school person, I get it. If you want to keep your books, I don't have no problem with you keeping your book. I didn't want to keep none of my books. I was like, I'm done with the class. I don't even need to remember the class. I just want to just get to the next degree so I can get this degree and get finished. That was me, and hopefully your kids can just get the degree. So that was a whole just I did, and I did survive and get my BA degree. So, but the aspect of it, of when you're looking at these when they're doing it digital, I think it can create some great income for that person that's created this particular book, because sometimes they get lost in the loop. I mean, I don't know how they're if they're still compensated after they've sold a book, and then it goes to the aspect of, okay, now do they get any more money if it's ever sold as a used book? I don't know. It depends on which company they're selling it through. But if they're using this as a digital aspect, just imagine, if you're that person that's creating these books, you would, because of the blockchain, you're going to know if that book's been transferred somewhere else, and you hope it gets transferred. You're like, if it literally could be transferred every day, that is like you're making royalty money off of that. So whether it's going to be 10% that you're going to make after that book is sold every single time, that's fantastic. And that's, again, I think, as far as, when you're in this space and you're trying to be creative with what to stay ahead of people, this is one of those things. Creating a digital book, literally, and every time someone's finished with it, if they don't want the book, okay, they can put it back up for sale and sell it to the next person. But again, if you're that artist or that person on the side, that or the person who's written that book, you're still going to be compensated. Versus, like I said, right now, if you go to a regular bookstore, like what they get the money when they sell the book, um, or whether you're going to buy it on Amazon or not. If you want the physical book, you're going to buy the book, and then that's it. There's no money after that, when you buy it like that. And so this, with the aspect of, them being, it's no different. I think of, when I look at this, I think of the artists and stuff, of how artists, the aha moment for the artist was like, okay, either I'm going to do this thing with an art as an artist, sell my art to a regular art gallery place, go there and you sell it, and then you're done, and your money, that's all the money you're going to get. But and then or and how a lot of the artists have converted over to the NFT aspect, where they're now saying, okay, you know what, I'm going to sell my art piece to you. I don't care if it comes with a physical or not. But if they sell the art piece to you now, and then if it's resold, they're going to still continue to get that royalty. So that, for the forever money, I call it the pajama money. That is like my thing. I'm like, that's pajama money. When I wake up from sleeping, how much money did I make last night? That is the aspect of where you want to be, when you're in the space. So same thing. This is, again, what this artist, I mean, the particular writer may not even know. They'll never know who the particular person that bought their particular book, but all they just know is money just keeps showing up in their account. So you hope that you would write a great book or something like this, and again, people would continuously buy it after they've read it, then they put it back up for sale. Again, it makes everybody powerful on both sides. It's not just a one-sided scenario. The person who bought it originally, if the book becomes even more valuable, they can then sell it and make more money. Or at least if they could sell it and at least get some of their money back, that's actually pretty good. Because I used to be mad when it's time. You go into the bookstore. You like, when I was in college, like, okay, I'm gonna buy the book. You like, I got to pay $100 some for the book. Then when you go back to sell it to them, they're like, well, I'm gonna give you $35 for the book. Then you see your same book up for sale for like $80. So that's the kind of craziness, as far as, again, with the digital aspect. Whoever's on the other side, will be able to sell their own book, get their own money back at probably a higher amount, because there's no middle people that have to be involved with it. You could probably get a higher amount, or potentially, a higher amount on that particular book. And then you move on to the next chapter of your semester in school. And so, again, thinking outside the box is very good. I actually, when I saw this article, I was like, that's a good way of thinking about it. And especially if some of these some people who are writing books can go on and and use this aspect of it to stay ahead of the curve. I think it's going to be very, very big. Okay, so just wanted to share that particular article. All right, the Tiffany sale. I remember, I think, was it last week? I think we were talking about this particular sale that was going to be coming up on the 5th. Remember, they had 250 NFTs, and they were going to be selling for 30 ETH. Okay, they were going to be selling for 30 ETH. So if you owned a CryptoPunk, and I haven't even seen the price of CryptoPunks lately to even tell you what the price of CryptoPunks are. I know they did when this. I know when they originally announced this, they did definitely jump up as far as some of the sales and some of the pricing of them. But again, if with the Tiffany company, you're going to, so you can see the picture here, you're going to actually get a picture of your particular CryptoPunk. And as far as it's gonna have a pendant, and I think it actually even had a diamond on it. Okay, but I don't know if y'all did the calculation. It was still about $50,000. Okay, 250 of them. So this was on the 5th when we covered this, I think, last week, talking about this particular thing. So, article came out a day ago. Tiffany rakes in over $12.5 million. So, like $12.5 million, and it sold out in less than half an hour. So, I think many times people who are in the crypto space kind of figure out, or especially if you're in the NFT space and you're like new, you're like, well, someone spent 30 ETH on an NFT on obviously you're gonna get a physical. You're gonna get you'll get that aspect of it, but it's there are really, if you really looked around and thought about it, there are so many young people, old people, I don't care who you want to be, who are in the crypto space, who've either been here for a long period of time. For them to put 30 ETH is like they don't even think about it. And I know if you're new, you're thinking like they don't think about spending $50,000. No, they don't think about spending $50,000. And it's simply because in when we look at when you're new and you're new, you're like, well, Ethereum is like $1,600 a piece for each Ethereum. But remember, a lot of the people who may own CryptoPunks, they bought these probably over a year ago, and some of them might have bought them even recently. I'm not going to say when they bought them, but remember, at the time when they literally bought some, maybe they bought Ethereum or they bought the CryptoPunk, the Ethereum could have been a couple $100, $300. I think we shared with you guys, like kind of the dollar cost averaging when you start looking at Ethereum of what kind of price was Ethereum at some time ago. Many people who bought Ethereum some time ago. So if we could just go over here real quick. Even if I just looked at Ethereum here, so it was at $1,600. Today it's at 1684. Some of the people who've gone on and bought some of this Ethereum some time ago, ETH wasn't that high. So I mean, this is only a year back. So last year, some of the peak was at what 4,000, right, almost $4,000. When it went up as high, it was as high as $4,700. So this is again from 1 year ago. If it's going to let me do it a little longer, we'll see if it's going to let me do it a little longer. Okay, so here we go. So in 2019, right here, it was at $147. It didn't start going up till it even last in 2020. It was $241, and sometime before that, it was like 188 in May of 2020. So in May of 2020, it was $188. So again, when you start looking at people who were in the crypto space, they might have literally bought this crypto here at $188, and they might have sold this crypto here at the $3,600 range. So they have money. Depending on how many they might have bought, you can see there is a big jump in the numbers that if they took their profits out of how much money they may have. That's how crazy it is. And again, let's say if they sold at the peak for $4,700 a pop. Do the math. If they had bought 10 of them or 100 of them, and there's people who are in crypto who probably have thousands of them. So don't be afraid in thinking that there's no people who in crypto who actually have this kind of money. This is why they have this kind of money. They might have bought here at $123 and sold here at $4,800. This was in November of last year, of $4,800. Again, crypto has definitely come down to what we're at $1,600. Again, it can be very volatile. So as far as you going on and taking some of your profits, that's going to be important for you. I'm not your financial advisor. I can tell you your tax consequences. So you need to check with your CPA on when you should sell, when you should buy, and all those different things. But for me, I can show you visually as far as this is how people who are in the space have so much money. Maybe some people who even bought here October of 2015 when it was 43 cents. Imagine buying some Ethereum at 43 cents. Do the math. And this is in 2015, 7 years ago. And there are a lot of young people who bought, because again, most of us were sitting back scared like, oh my God, crypto's a scam. I can't really do this. It's scary. I don't know about this. This is new technology. I'm not going to be doing this. And there are some people who did take the risk and they bought. They bought not only Ethereum, they might have even bought some Bitcoin. So if we even look at the concept of, even when you're looking at Bitcoin, let's just go back and see if it's going to let me get here. But if you look at the concept, even with Bitcoin, Bitcoin's at 23,000. Bitcoin was as high as almost $60,000. So the same scenario when you're here and you're looking at when some of these people who are coming in and who bought some of this. So in 2019 it was 8,500. It dropped to 6,800 there. So this is in 2020, and in 2020 here, 2021, it went to 57,000, and then in November it went to 65,000. So again, you start looking at far as like when we come back to this particular article about why would someone spend 30 ETH on this? There are people in the space who have 30 ETH, and it's almost like to them, it's almost like that's a joke. You like, you want 30 ETH already? I had 30 ETH. I bought them for $3 a pop, or I bought them for $100 a pop. So the regular people who are coming in now, this $50,000 is like you feel that $50,000. But if you're someone who came in and maybe you bought them again, maybe you bought them at the $100 a pop, okay, you're not paying $50,000. So that's why they'll go ahead and they'll buy these, spend 30 Ethereum, because again, they didn't pay $1,700 if they had to come in today. They didn't pay $1,700 for each Ethereum in order to get this particular NFT. Okay, so just kind of sharing that for the new people of kind of, so you can kind of get an understanding of why some people will go on and spend this kind of money, and it's simply because they didn't possibly pay the 30 ETH for it, and then also they can figure out, hey, this they may be thinking that this could end up being worth way more money than the $50,000. That maybe they're gonna, maybe their plan is that they're going to sell the crypto punk along with this piece of jewelry at some point down the line. So just giving you a couple ideas of why people will come on and they'll buy some of these things. It's literally because of that. Okay, so just want to share you those, share this with you again. They're going to be early in 2023. That's when they'll actually be getting them. They had to. There's August the 12th, I believe it's August the 12th on here. There's a date on one of these doggone articles that talked about when you have to make sure, August the 12th, right here. Okay, so in order for you to make sure you do redeem your particular asset. Okay, so going to be very, very interesting to see how this evolves, because once one NFT group does this, then it may come down to the next NFT group to say, hey, you know what? Would you like the Bored Ape people? Would you like the artifacts? Would you like XYZ? Would you like Azuke? Would you like, and so World of Women, would you like any of those things, to start partnering with Tiffany? So a lot of different companies may start doing things like this, especially like I said, because this one sold out in what, half an hour for 12.5 million. So you imagine, like you, Tiffany, you'd be like, okay, well, I mean, obviously they might sell even higher jewelry, but I'm just saying, you're just doing a drop. You're like, okay, you know what? In 30 minutes, we're about to make $12.5 million. Let's go. Let's put this up for sale. And they'll do these things as far as partnerships are concerned, when they're coming on and they can do this kind of capital, because again, it is a great opportunity. Okay, so that's that. Okay, one of the cheaper ones that we've been doing some talking about, and we've talked about it for some probably over a year, is still VV. And I understand VV numbers have come down and VV numbers have gone up. VV numbers have done all these different things, but this particular drop, uh, you need to make sure you're still keeping an eye on VV, because again, this was one of the ones I think that have recently, that has been, one of the more successful ones that they're currently doing. So again, these were the digital comic books for the new people. If you're on, these are the digital comic books that you were able to go on and buy for $20. Okay, so but the reason why I keep talking about things like this is, as far as if you're new and you're trying to figure out how do you get involved in without having to spend a ton of money. These are some of the ones, like I said, that they've been out longer. You do have to KYC, as far as if you're going to be, and that's know your customer. So they have to verify who you are. You have to put some of your information in on there. But it's a way for new people to not have to spend a ton of money in order to possibly. And like I said, there's no guarantee that every drop that they do is going to be successful. But this particular one, you pay $20, and remember, it's random. You don't know which one you're going to get. Okay, you don't when they the way they do them has been random. You don't know which one you're going to get. But even if you pay $20, the basic ones right now are still selling for like $599. This is on the 8th. This is on, so you see how fast some of these things can literally change, as far as when you're going on and trying to buy, trying to get some of these particular drops that are happening. I would just make sure you go on to Vivi's regular site, find out when their next drops are happening. You put them on your schedule, and you kind of create a calendar to say, okay, when this next drop happens, I'm going to risk, maybe it's a $20 or it's a $10, depending on what price range they have on that particular drop. But the ones that, even if you pay $20, and let's say you got the secret rare one, I think the secret rare one, the low price right now is $16,000. And I know it's like the new people, I'm sorry, but this is how NFTs work. And so you're like, you spent $20 the other day and it's now worth $16,000. Yeah, that's the low on this particular thing. And a lot of that has to do with the demand and how many of those particular items that are going to be available. So you'll see down here. So there was there were 20. There was 10,000 editions of of this particular NFT. Common, there were 6,000 of them. Uncommon, 2,250. Rare, 1,000. Ultra rare, 500. And then there was only 250 out of the 10,000 that were secret rare. Okay, so again, the more the less quantity of an item, the more that item normally is going to be worth. It normally can go up higher because there is a demand. More people want the ones that are rare when you're in the particular space than just the regular common ones. So the common one, you kind of like, oh, that's common. But still, even some of those, the uncommon ones and common ones, you're really looking at $20 to, even if you made $400, if you made $100 and you had put $20 in. But this particular drop again is one of the better ones. It's literally has been $500. They range from 500 to 2,500. I can't remember which ones it was. I think it was an ultra rare. It might have been around $2,500, and then the secret rare was 16,000. That's the lowest price available that you can buy some of these items on for this particular drop. So again, it's going to be it's there's different variations. When you're looking at some of the drops, like I said, and it's just being selective as far as for me, when I say, well, okay, is it $20? And I'm not saying $20 is a lot of money for it. I'm just saying for me, $20. I'm like, okay, I will take the risk for $20. I will take the risk for more than that. But at the same time, when I'm looking at Vivi, it's just like, do I take the risk on this particular drop to buy this do I take the risk for $20 to possibly get a secret rare one? Um, I always kind of say, okay, $20. I know for the secret rare, even if I went back to Vivi and looked at some of their previous drops on some of their comic books, could I get my $20 back? I would go. So the new people, I'm giving you a tip. One thing you can do is you could always go back on Vivi and look at some of their other comics and figure out if you happen to get a secret rare, if you happen to get an ultra rare, could you get your $20 back on any drops that they've had? And if you do your research and you understand that, hey, I actually could get my money back and I actually could make a couple $100 or I could make a couple $1,000 on that, then you can weigh it and say, hey, you know what, this might be an opportunity for me to go ahead and take the risk and buy this particular NFT. Okay, so that's going to be that. But this one is actually doing very, very well for people who got it. Congrats if you got that. All right. Okay, in regards to, I know we talk a lot about, as far as, again, talking about business aspects, business things that you can do if you're going to be in the particular space. Decentraland, remember, if you're a creator, I know this particular article dealt with people who've been creating in the particular space. If you're a creator, you need to be doing research on those red days. You need to be doing research on how you can create your items because a lot of you are very gifted. Like for me, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna do some creating, but I know that might not be my strongest point. It's like some of y'all be like, y'all can work on all these little graphic things or software, and you be like, I can create this and make this look like that. I'm like the kind of the basic person, like, okay, I can make that, and then I can make this look a little bit better by doing this or doing that. But some of you guys just have a vision as far as maybe, I mean, you just literally know how to draw, you know how to create things. Then you need to be figuring out how you're going to start capitalizing on designing some things. Whether I don't care if it's clothing for the metaverse, I don't care if it's clothing for a game, whatever you need to be doing there. If your stuff starts moving very well when you're on these particular sites, I said maybe you're Decentraland, maybe you're creating stuff for Sandbox, you can literally go on and start making capital. And so again, maybe you're not buying, but you've become an artist and you start selling some of your things. So make sure you're going on and you're reading up more and more on things of how you can create different things for these different metaverse games and capitalize. I mean, you can create shoes, socks, helmets, masks, skins. You can do all those different things on some of these different land games, and again capitalize, because remember, once you sell it to one person, if it's a, let's say you become very famous or you become really somebody within the particular space, then there's a bigger demand for your item, because people, just like in real life, I've been saying it forever, just like in real life, people still want to look good, and they want to look good in the metaverse. So if you have maybe you have the coolest jacket that you've created. It could be a suit, it could be a shirt, it could be any of those different things. But as you're creating those things, you will definitely be able to go on and capitalize on doing that. One of the things I did see that as far as when you are doing this, and one of the things an article talked about is, start with a small investment. I mean, don't if you're just getting started, this is not something that's gonna should take you all of your money or a ton of money. Start with a small investment, and get a feel of like, hey, this is what I really want to do. Test it. um I always tell people, don't come out here thinking you're gonna sell like 10,000 items. Your first thing, you're like, I'm doing a collection of 10,000 items. Okay, that's great, but what if only 10 of them sell? Now it looks like your thing was a flop. Okay, so maybe at the beginning you're going to have to sacrifice and give a few items away. Maybe you're doing your collection 10 items, 50 items. I'm not giving you an idea, but 10 items, 50 items, 100 items, whatever that number is going to be. But I'd much rather you sell out on your items than to have 30 or 100 or 1,000 items or even 5,000 items left of all your items. Because again, it's going to look a certain way when people are in the NFT space. We're like, oh, people who are trying to mint your particular thing were like, oh, well, they still got 20,000 of those different things available. People who are in the space will come back and say, well, I got time to come back and buy that. I'm gonna see if they're whatever they're gonna do. But if there's that demand like right now to say, hey, I need to literally go on and try to buy this particular thing because there's only a certain amount of these, then you'll have a better chance of those items selling out, and then starting to create more of a demand for your items. Every time you drop, if you have once you get selling out instantly, well, every time you drop something, you'll start selling out instantly, and you're going to get the flippers. There's nothing wrong with having the flippers who may buy your items, because again, you want people who to flip your items. You honestly, sometimes you really do, because if people are going on, and what I mean by that for the new people, if you're flipping, if you have people, if you're selling an NFT and you get flippers in there, remember you're going to have your royalty to where you're going to get paid every time that item sells. Every time that's where maybe it's 10%. Every time it sells, you get 10%. So you want your item, you want the flippers to come in and keep flipping your thing, because and let the flippers going to make their money. That's fine. Good. Flippers can go ahead and make their money, but at the same time, you'll also continue to make money. So that's another thing that you definitely want to take into consideration. When you are in the space, is that yeah, you don't. I mean, I know some people, it's a personal thing. You're like, well, man, everybody's flipping my stuff. Yeah, but this, every time they flip, you do make money. So there's a good side and a bad side to it. I understand that part of it, but understand if you're a creator, you do want some people to hold it, but you also want people. So because again, the more people, the more flippers, the more volume that you keep having in your project, and then it becomes more of a demand to where that price can get up higher and higher. Okay, so that's going to be one of those particular articles. Make sure again that you're double checking as far as what you can create as far as wearables or and so forth for these different games and metaverse lands, and then you'll be completely fine. Okay, be completely fine. All right. One other thing in regards to when we're talking about the metaverse, just remember with the metaverse, it's one of those scenarios where numbers have been a little bit down. Within the metaverse, again, it's just the same way, same cycle as far as crypto goes. Metaverse is going to do the kind of the same thing. Numbers are going to go up and down. But if you're still looking to invest into some of the metaverse lands, some of the lands have definitely come down in price. You can see from the chart here that other side by Board Apes, their land sale, they're still selling like $2.5 million over the last 7 days. That's fine. 271,000 over at Sandbox. And NFT Worlds is 204,000. Again, NFT Worlds did take a big hit because the announcement that was made. The announcement that was made. But again, I know NFT Worlds has definitely still been talking about things that they're going to try to do for their own metaverse type gaming and stuff. So do some more research in regards to that. Some of the other ones, again, do your own research on some of these different metaverse lands, and find you a land, a game that you really, I should say, a metaverse type game or land that you really enjoy, or that you feel like, hey, down the line, I feel like this could be a potential for me to make some very good money. For me, again, I'm just a person, as far as when I'm investing into the metaverse, I'm literally trying to figure out, are they hitting their dates? Are they continuing to develop this metaverse aspect? Um, is there a potential for me to get more airdrops? Because that's what I'm really really looking for. Is there a potential for me to possibly get airdrops from owning your land, or is there a potential for me to make money from people playing your game that you may create in the metaverse? All of those things are what I'm looking for. It's like I'm not just volunteering to buy no land and be like, I'm volunteering to buy this land or hold on to this land for. That's not me. Okay. Again, I believe in a lot of the things that I'm invested in, but the ultimate goal is to make money. I'm not here to volunteer to invest and use my regular money to say just to hold. No, I'm not. That's not me. So again, when you're looking at some of these different lands or metaverse type games, make sure you do a little bit of research on there and said, hey, you know what? If you're going to invest in them, you want to see that there's sales happening. Okay, you want to see that there's sales happening within this particular space. So even when I'm looking at this, it's like, and I like some on the space is one of those ones. As far as I'm still definitely doing some research on some Simonian space, but when I look at this particular one, I want to see sales because if I'm buying this particular land game, if I ever have to sell it or if I need to sell it, I want to know that there's going to be people there to buy it from me. I don't want to have to say, well, okay, there's only two sales that's happening every 7 days. That means I either got to be the lowest person in the space that has this particular thing up for sale, or I gotta figure out something in order to get my capital back. And I don't like to just be trying to figure out how I'm just gonna break even. I'm not doing this to break even. Okay, so and I hopefully you're not doing this to break even. If you're investing your hard-earned money within this particular space, you want to do it, and hopefully there's going to be some upside. Again, no guarantees within the space, but again, by you doing your research and seeing, what are these games doing? What are they literally doing to make their, whether it's a game they're developing or if they have other partnerships that they're creating, what are they doing? Is it going to be like, I know we were talking about on one of our calls. When you're looking at some of these everybody says metaverse now. Everybody says they have a metaverse game. What's going to make yours different than everybody else? How are people going to find you? How can you monetize that? Because if you're just a little dot on this big world, you're kind of gonna get lost unless you have just something that's just so elaborate that everybody wants to come see what you have. Okay, so make sure you're doing those things. When you're doing your homework of not just saying you have the metaverse land, but are there other ways for you to make some additional funds from owning that particular NFT? Again, whether it's a metaverse land or even an asset in that particular game, make sure there's going to be people you can sell your items to in case you need to. You're like, hey, I'm tired of dealing with this. I'm not waiting for this particular NFT to do anything else. I'm just going to go ahead and sell my stuff. You need some people in there to buy them. Okay, so make sure you're definitely coming in and you're checking as far as how many sales are going up on those particular lands. Okay. All right. So again, all of these right here, you can definitely do some research on these. On the red days, when you say you have nothing to do, which we always have something to do, but if you're just trying to find out something else of what would be your next thing to invest in, I literally would start right here and look at some of these different metaverse and start doing research on them and saying, hey, you know what? If this drops to this number right here, I will look to buy. If this drops to this number right here, as far as what the cost is for Ethereum price wise, if once you've done your research, like, okay, if I can catch some of these at this particular price or even it's a lower price, then you go ahead and you buy those particular NFTs. Okay, so again, these are average prices. Remember, some of these different lands are going to have different prices. It could be the higher end. It could be a higher end price. I mean, some of them literally can be thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on which game you're in and depending on what that land has on it. And then some of them can literally be a couple $1,000s. Or it's something like, and even some of them can even be a couple $100s. So again, going on and looking as far as when they're looking at the average price. Remember, they are taking some of the higher price sales and the lower price, and then just averaging out of what the price is. Because when I'm simply looking at even at the other side, I think their floor price right now. Let me look at this other sheet over here I have. I want to say their floor price is like 2 point something ETH. Yeah, and I think Sandbox is like 1.49 for there. So again, they're looking at some of the higher prices and some of the lowest price. But again, if you're going to OpenSea or something like that, you'll definitely be able to go on there and figure out what's the lowest price available if that's where you have to start as far as investing in some of these particular NFTs. Okay. All right. I did say I was going to show you one of the ones. Okay, one of the ones again that I definitely y'all hear us talking about artifacts all the time. We definitely still invested in artifacts. We're good. The aspect as far as value wise, and I think when I'm talking about this particular NFT, the product, it's one of those scenarios where I'm literally looking at this. as a business opportunity. I that's how I'm looking at this particular space, this particular pod, is that what businesses can I create by owning this particular NFT? For me, like I said, if you're an artist, it's a great opportunity. If you have things that you want to sell as an artist, it's a great opportunity. Because when you look at it, it's like, where can you go? And like I said, don't get me wrong. You have to, you're going to have to advertise. And so I'm saying, make sure you have your social medias and all those different things, because you just having a loot pod is not a scenario where it's going to say that's going to make you a ton of money. Okay. I'm not saying that. Okay, but you will have to still do your aspects as far as creating your social presence and making sure people can find you when you have one of these particular items. But I look at it, for me, it's a matter of, okay, is there anywhere else that I can literally go in the world if I was an artist and pay $400 and get my artwork displayed and potentially sell my artwork? And there's not a lot of places that you can go for $400. I mean, if you got $400 a month, it's like work. You got to be like know somebody to even get something that cheap, if it would even be possible to get something that cheap. Um, but in regards to having your own type storefront, this is one of those ones where it's like this could be an opportunity for people who are in the space. If you would go on and do some research on this and figure out how to capitalize on this particular by owning this particular loot pod for your business. Okay, for your business, there is so much opportunity with this particular item. Again, not telling you that you need to go out and buy this. You can do some research on this. For me, I I I have quite a few of these. Okay, on this one, this wallet has one, but I do have multiple of these particular items. Again, I'm thinking of a bigger picture of what I'm trying to do within the NFT space, and maybe what can I how can I capitalize on this aspect with another business? Can I create this as a like a I call it a storefront? Can I create this as to some type of storefront to make this thing look a certain way for me to be able to go on and sell some items that I may want to sell down the line, whether it's something I create with my Board Ape or something I create with some of my Clone X's. How can I make money by investing $400? Okay, so let me just show you as far as this is one that's called for Blaze. Okay, and I think we've shared this one with you all before. So again, this right here, what you're currently seeing right now, is going to be this same item right here. So this is this item here. That's $400. This is what the inside. Again, I know this picture doesn't make it seem like it's this big, but it really is this big. This big. So okay, so you can come in here. So let me just enter it into a world real quick. Now y'all got to pray for me because I'm gonna have to try to move my mouse and get on this thing and remember how to move around. Okay, so okay, so here we go. So this again is one of those one of the rooms. This is the loot pod that we were just literally looking at. And you can see these are things that you could display on your wall. It's going to be NFTs. Maybe it's something you created or something you bought, and maybe you want to put it back up for sale. Maybe you're like, hey, I'm done using this particular item. I'm going to put these things up for sale. So you can come here, you can walk around. So again, this particular person has all of the different, I think it's Jessica's one. Okay, so this right here, if I can get myself to walk around, here we go. Okay, so let me just see if I can walk on this stuff on thing. My computer's lagging too. It's not helping me. If y'all knew how Jessica and Majesty would be talking about me right now, it would be the funniest thing ever. Because this is not my cup of tea, but I'm just trying to show you. So again, on the wall. So let's see if I can slow this thing down because my computer lagging and then it's letting me go. Okay, all the different things as far as what you have on your wall, you could literally create QR codes on your wall on your screen if you had artwork that you wanted to sell. Someone literally comes in here and they could scan your QR code and buy a particular item you have. So those are Clone X's that you see up on the wall there. There's some other digital art that people own that she's already bought on here. Where's my mouse at? This is really weird. Here we go. All right, so here we go. So that's another Clone X there. Here we go. Now I've got the balance. Let's just walk through here. Okay, so another piece of art that someone that she's bought in here, that she has displayed on her wall. People are like, you're displaying art on your wall. Yeah, this is the art. This is the digital aspect of some of the art that was bought on, that she's previously bought that she has on display here. So there's another Clone X that she has on the wall. Some more art that she previously bought. There's some of Mike Johnson's artwork that she has on the wall right there on the wall. Um, but literally, so the opportunities again, as far as you coming in here, being able to display your stuff. There's some of the stuff that her daughter has created right there. So she literally could have this particular art piece right here, and I can't move my mouse because it's not letting me cooperate. So the spinning item that's going on, she literally could put a QR code if she wanted to sell this particular item. I could put a QR code on here. If you happen to come into this particular space, maybe again, this is where you go on, you do your advertising on your social medias. And you're like, well, hey, visit my loot pod or visit my cyber spot, whatever name you want to call it. Visit this particular site, go around and look at my art gallery. Okay, so again, if you're an artist, all of your different art pieces you could literally put on display. It's a matter of you coming on the wall, wherever you see the art pictures at right now, you could literally come over here and click on the little square. Again, your wallet is connected to this particular site. You can click on the scare on any of the squares, and you could literally put any art piece that you wanted up for sale. Okay, any art piece you wanted up for sale. So again, great opportunities. $400. Again, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just telling you what I have done, and we have definitely invested in this particular item. And then I think as the market changes, the market crypto may continue to come down. If crypto continues to come down, then you may be able to get this particular item even cheaper than the $400. So now we're going to go up the stairs. There's another piece that my niece has done right there. So if she wanted to put that up for sale, she could literally click on that particular item, and then someone who was looking at this, if they liked it, they could go on and they could buy that particular item. So let's see if I can go back up these stairs again. Actually, I'm doing doggone good. Let's see here. Y'all probably like, this girl's horrible. Where are we even at? Just I promise you they would be talking about me so bad. I know, and they're probably talking about me because they're probably watching me somewhere else on the stream. So again, if you want to come up to the top up here, you could come here, see pictures that you may have on the wall. If you have other CloneXs, or if you wanted to put another picture of a CloneX, you could create all of these different things, and you could come here. Over here, you see the little arcade games. As far as if you want to put pictures on those, there's another piece of artwork that she's done before. Um, Again, you see that there's opportunity in regards to, again, you being able to come on, display your art, create a business, and make money. It's like you don't even have to meet any people. You just got to get your business aspect put together, your social media aspect put together, to where now you have people coming to this particular site, and they're literally buying your stuff digitally. QR code or click on your picture. It takes them to OpenSea. They use their money to buy it, and you wake up and like, oh man, someone bought something off my wall last night. Maybe I need to go put a new picture up there. That's how easy. And like I said, it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy in that aspect, but it's easy once you've done your part of, getting your social presence out there, making sure people know who you are. It's that easy as far as being able to go on and sell items. You would never have to meet any people at all in order to sell your items. They would just, again, come in and walk through your particular site, see what you have to offer. If they like your artwork, they simply buy it. If they don't, they just come in and look at your particular wall, your particular loot pod that you have here. And there's other loot pods and stuff that you definitely can. On Cyber has some other things that you definitely can go on and make bigger spaces. If you need bigger spaces, you can do that. But again, if you're just starting out, you're not, unless you have a game plan, you don't need to necessarily go out and spend thousands of dollars to see if your idea is going to work. You could literally start here with something, with a smaller item, and then work your way up to get something that may be a little bit more expensive. Because they have some that are, again, these are cut $400. They have some that are even several $1,000s. But again, that is going to be a big space. So you're going to need quite a few items in order to fill that particular space. But there's a stepping aspect of it, a stepping stone, as far as, maybe you're starting here, you're looking for new items to put on display. You start selling and you're making some money here, and you're like, okay, actually, I need to get another, let's say, art gallery in the metaverse per se, that I own, so that people, because maybe you have more art than you can display, you get another one after selling so much, and you just start creating multiples of these, or again, you get a bigger space, and you can put all of the things in one particular space. So that is again, as far as when you're thinking about it, think about it as a business. Stop thinking about it just buying these NFTs and you're just buying something to buy something. No, everything I'm buying, it's a business. It's like I'm literally thinking, what am I going to do with this to create a business with this particular thing that I bought? If it's in this wallet, it needs to be able to make me some money. Okay, so this is to me every if I whether I'm gonna, instead of me going to go rent a property, I own this now. I am the owner of the space, and it's like if you do, would you like, and the other aspect, we didn't even talk about it, is you may have other artists who maybe they don't have the capital to buy a particular space, but they need somewhere to display their artwork. Okay, I have the space. It's like, okay, how do we make something to where we can both win? You get this display, we do the advertising and everything. You get the display, we sell your item. There's so many different things of how you can capitalize and make so much money within the space but you just got to start thinking. You got to start thinking. Everything again that you own or that you buy needs to be per se a business, a business when you're thinking about it. So again, hopefully you got some things out of that, some nuggets out of that you can use. Literally, as far as things that you can create, things that if you're already thinking about being in this particular space or considering being in this space, then you'll be like, hey, you know what? This is something that I can see myself doing. Because again, maybe you're that gifted, talented, uh, extremely talented person that can design and create art, but you just like, hey, I just don't have the capital to go rent a space out. Here's your opportunity right here for 400 some dollars. And like I said, if the market keeps dropping down, then that price may even go down a little lower. So again, if you're going to be buying, I always tell people, if you're going on here and you're like, well, hey, I'm looking to buy multiples. Okay, you don't have to necessarily go in and buy multiples all at one time. You just literally say, okay, maybe today I'm going to buy one. Like I said, depend on your capital. But let's say maybe say hypothetically, I'm going to buy one today, and then maybe I check and see what the market's going to be doing tomorrow. You do stand the risk of thing of an announcement coming out. Artifacts may announce something. It could go up in price. But again, if there's no announcement and if the market comes down, then that also means that you could possibly get one even lower in price. So just want to share that with you guys. But again, hopefully you got some tips out of that. Businesses. I'll just keep saying that businesses. My dad used to always tell me, own it. You like, don't be trying to rent. You go, you own it. He's like, you don't try to work from that. You go try to own it. So we're gonna keep trying to talk about some of those things again every week. We're gonna definitely still continue to try to share with you things that we're doing, showing you what we're doing. And like I said, there's enough money for everybody in this space to make some money. But again, I do understand it takes some time. But if you're new, continue to come. If you have, I always tell people, if you have friends or family, please continue to send them to whatsnfts.com. Whatsnfts.com is our free Facebook group. We do definitely do some posting over there on our free group as far as trying to put information out there for you of what's going on in the space. Definitely make sure you're sending people there to whatsnfts.com. We also have tons of videos on YouTube that you can definitely go on YouTube and continue to watch some of the videos we've previously done on NFTs. Again, we love NFTs. I know Jessica's not here, but I still say things. We love the NFT space. We're still here and investing in the NFT space because there is so much potential and so much opportunity that within this space but you just have to learn how to research. And then, like always, we do have our monthly subscription that we do definitely continue to put out there. Like I said, it's not, you can go to our free group that is completely free. There's no strings attached. It ain't like for 10.99. Also be on the lookout because we are going to be trying to do some other trainings, some quicker trainings to start sharing information with you all. But you'll find that information if you're not a part of our monthly subscription. You'll find out some of those free classes on our free Facebook group. So again, whatsnfts.com. That's going to be, as far as if you were doing a Google search, whatsnfts.com, you can find it there. Or if you're on Facebook, you can go to Sisters Talkin NFTs. That'll another way for you to be able to find us there. So once again, thank you all so much for hopping on with us for today. Well, I say for us, like I'm used to saying us because Jessica's normally here. But thank you for hopping on today. It's been fantastic. Hopefully you got some value out of what I've said today. And like I said, we look forward to seeing you guys again next week. And so you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And we will see you all next week. You guys have a good one.